Welcome to the NCGA Valent Ag Weather Outlook, July 2nd, 2016. I'm John Felt. Well, like I said, probably many times before, there's always something going on with the weather. And here we are in the middle of summer, and you'd think that it'd be quiet. We'd have summertime weather. Well, there's a lot going on, and seems like there's always something going on. So if we look at the last 7 days, we see some scattered precipitation. Now this splotchiness, it looks like the image isn't clear. That's your summertime precipitation. And many areas of the nation need some additional rain. Now the southeast U.S. really needs some additional rain. You can see there was a bit of rainfall there, but if I could take out everything but maybe the darker green and yellow, you would also see that it was widely scattered, and it helped in spots, but really not from a broad scale perspective. Now over the Corn Belt, you can see there was some rain of significance in parts of Kansas and entering Missouri. There was some rain in eastern Iowa in spots, but most of the upper Midwest and the eastern Corn Belt remained quite dry with below normal precipitation. Now, I've shown this image for the last couple of briefings, and I think it gives you a generalized idea of where we need rain. You can see the southeast U.S., look at that, 6 to 9 inches of rain to get back to normal. Then as we get over the central Corn Belt, eastern Kansas, Missouri, parts of Illinois, then more scattered parts of Indiana and most of Ohio, southern Michigan as well, and then the upper Midwest, we need more rain. So I think that's the biggest story right now is we need more rain. And sort of complex here, we're going to get a lot of rain in some spots and not much in others. Now over the last 30 days, you can see here why we need that more rain. Look at parts of the central U.S., also parts of Texas. You see that brown or yellow, and that's indicating a maximum of 2 weeks or more. Brown is indicating 20 days out of the last 30 with no rain. So that gives you some indication of why we need rain in those areas, especially look at the eastern half and northern parts of Missouri. And anywhere in brown, we definitely need more rain. Now last week, as far as temperatures go, they were either a little bit above normal or a little bit below normal. Green would be a little bit below, yellow would be a little bit above. Okay, now let's get to the forecast. Well, this week, the jet stream really doesn't tell the story. I'd like to mention that that position of that high pressure is going to tell us really what's going to occur, but at least not initially early this week. Now, look at that ridge of high pressure. It is centered back a bit further to the east here. And remember last time it did that? Hot weather, and that's going to be the story. But there's going to be a lot of variability this week. We're going to start off with rain-cooled air, which will keep temperatures down, but the hot temperatures are going to return very quickly towards the middle and latter part of the week. So this is the front that's going to be the setup this week. This is on Sunday, and what you see here is a stationary front, and along that front is going to be very heavy rainfall. But once that pushes through, then we'll get back into the hot weather. Just a quick mention, nothing going on with the tropics that could bring tropical moisture into the area. But the rainfall forecast looks very significant. Look at this here, 3 inches to 4 inches, maybe even higher, right through a narrow axis. Now it's going to be fairly narrow, so if you're north of this axis, right here in central Iowa, Des Moines, it's going to drop off very quickly. If you're south, Little Rock, it's going to drop off very quickly. But if you're along this narrow axis here, there's going to be a very heavy and soaking rainfall. Now I overlaid it on that initial graphic where rain is needed, and I wanted to show you here. Red is indicating 3 inches of rain or more possibility. And look at this area here. So that's going to wipe out a good part of that deficit if it does occur in that area. So it's going to be very welcome in this area. In green is more of the 1 to 2 inch, and in that area it's needed as well. So definitely parts of Missouri, parts of Illinois, parts of Ohio, parts of Kansas, maybe even parts of southeast Iowa, it will be a very beneficial rain. Now there are going to be some issues. When we get 3 to 5 inches of rain, it can only soak in so fast into really hard-packed, dry soil. So there will be runoff. There will be pooling of water. There's a flash flood watch out for this area. There will be some flash flooding, urban flooding, but this will eventually soak in, and I think it's going to be looked upon overall as a beneficial rain, at least as far as agriculture goes in most areas. Now, if we get a little bit further out, July 7th through 12th, that ridge of high pressure is still centered over the central part of the U.S. It's not nearly as strong as we saw earlier in the summer, but it's still going to result in very hot temperatures. Matter of fact, if we look at temperatures here, this is on July 6th, look at the 90s and 100s. So what we're going to see once that first system pushes through and keeps the temperatures down due to clouds and rain, it's going to really come back with temperatures well into the 90s, and then with that wet ground, humidities are going to be high, so it's going to be pretty oppressive later on this week, generally starting on Tuesday or Wednesday and then continuing through the rest of the week. Now, if we look out a little bit further through the middle part of July, this is July 12th through 17th, what we have here is we have the ridge of high pressure pushes back off to the west again, and then we get into a bit of a northwest flow. And when I see this, this is when we get back into systems are going to be developing up here and sagging down to the south, and we're going to be prone to some cooler air as well. So as we get to the middle part of July, days 11 to 15, temperatures pull back a bit. Still, models are saying above normal. I think they could be a little bit cooler than this with that northwest flow, and it also gives us a prospect of some rain. So if we look at the precipitation anomalies, here's week 1. Shows you how narrow that band is I was talking about, right through here, and then we see yellow just north of it. Look at the southeast U.S. Strong dry signal in week 1, strong dry signal in week 2. Now here's week 2, and I've said this before that precipitation week 2 is hard to say, but if we do get into that northwest flow, it does show at least a chance of some precipitation over the region. So it's not an absolute dry period. It does look like there will be a chance of rain. So there are some hazards this week. We have the heavy rain hazard and the excessive heat hazard following right behind it. And I think as far as the trends go, I almost have to just call this variable rainfall and temperature, because I do think we're going to be fluctuating quite a bit. But those hot temperatures, again, will be the primary trend later this week. I wish you and your family a happy 4th of July. I will be updating you out throughout the week. Take care.